Hello everyone, welcome back to Two Pupils in a Pod. The new year 2021 brings new hope and fresh new content from your favorite hosts, Fatima and Sakina.
Yes, we are back with another debate on the biggest conundrum, the topic being,
Drumroll please.
should all subjects be compulsory? Mainly focusing on subject choice at the school level.
Yes, this has been a topic of discussion among us school students for years. And so we decided to settle it once and for all.
Exactly. The thing is, currently, in most curriculums and schools under the Indian education system, students are not given subject choice and instead have to study a list of core compulsory subjects up till class 10.
Yes, the central board and most of the state boards in India uniformly follow the 10 plus 2 pattern, which is basically first 10 years are divided into 4 years of primary education, 6 years of high school education, followed by 2 years of junior college or higher secondary schooling.
So the syllabus is also curated accordingly, wherein at the primary level, basic skills like writing, reading, and math are taught. Then at the elementary level, there are core subjects like mathematics, science, social science, which further includes history, civics, geography, etc., and two languages, one of which must be Hindi or English. And after grade 10, students have to make the choice of choosing a core stream, which is one of science, commerce, or humanities.
Yes, and so now comes the big question. Should all subjects be compulsory at the school level? And for the purpose of this debate, I will speak in favor of the topic.
And I will speak against it. But stay tuned till the end to find out what Fatima and I personally think about this topic.
Yes, definitely. Now, compulsory subjects exist in the first place because the basic learning ideas in math, science, and even English and so on are regarded as fundamental to building the key capabilities of a student. The existing system is pretty much ideal. Studying all science and art subjects in grade 8 and then an option to study these subjects at upper secondary level, which is after grade 10, gives students a chance to determine where their interest actually lies before specializing in a certain discipline.
Definitely, aptitude and interest should be the basis for students to decide their subjects. But I feel instead of up till 10th, these core subjects should be compulsory only till upper primary, which in India is grade 8. After that, students should be allowed to choose which subjects they wish to continue learning and drop the ones that they don't wish to study. And to help them make this decision, schools can employ aptitude tests at the end of grade 8 and evaluate the students' academic performance in different subjects accordingly.
Right, but here's the thing. Students are often confused and indecisive about what to actually pursue, and hence all subjects must be compulsory in order for them to learn the basics of every subject until at least grade 10 and then decide what they really want to pursue for their careers. Because, see, kids are too young, right? And they don't really know what they want and they won't even get the education they need at that age either, which is grade 8. And eventually, you'll definitely have more time to do the thing that you actually like when you're older.
But students will already have been equipped with at least a basic knowledge in each of these subjects by grade 8, right? So, why should they have to study all the subjects in depth if they are not interested in that subject or they don't plan on pursuing it in the future?
So, wouldn't you say that exploring a subject in detail gives them a better understanding of whether or not they want to pursue it?
See, honestly, I think by grade 8, almost everyone has like a vague idea of what they want to do in the future. If not down to the exact job, at least the stream that they want to pursue.
Makes sense. But what if the student wants to change their stream?
Well, don't a lot of students do that even after 12th? I mean, choosing subjects after 10th does not ensure that the child will make the right decision. I mean, sometimes, like you said, they're still indecisive. So, in the end, it actually depends on the ability of the child, and in a lot of cases, parental pressure as well.
That's so true. Because, talking about parental pressure, parents definitely play a major role in deciding what subject stream their child eventually selects. Because
Mhm.
we definitely asked our parents, right?
Absolutely.
And it'll really be a reflection of what their parents deem as important and what they want them to study, right? That is why I think it's important that students be exposed to a broad range of subjects which expands their horizons and views of the world, because in the end the child is not choosing the options, the parents are. And this might have nothing to do with what the child actually wants to do when they grow older.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, our educational system has a standard curriculum covering a wide range of topics under each subject, making our
Hmm.
syllabus very extensive. And this is why so many children from a young age itself dislike going to school, because all of these subjects have been made compulsory for them. Honestly, I feel given a choice, students would rather concentrate on subjects in which they are good, and this way, they would have a better chance of doing well in their examinations.
Now see, the main disadvantage of letting students choose their own subjects is very simple. Let's just say, for example, students who tend to score lower than the average in a subject like, say, math or science might drop that altogether and might lean towards choosing the subjects that are comparatively considered to be easier, like social sciences or even languages, and vice versa. Meaning that they will tend to select courses that seem less rigorous to them, when in reality that is not the case, and it depends entirely on the student's interest in the subject as well as their capabilities, right? This reduces their own ability to challenge themselves.
But see, the main reason students would opt to drop a subject if given the choice is because they simply can't cope with the academic demands and pressures of that subject. Let's say, for example, a student who is interested and good at a subject like math might be struggling with creative writing in languages. So, since students are the ones learning, they know better what methods work for them. So, I really feel that if they have the option to choose what they would like to learn, it would definitely make them more accountable and eager to engage with the material. Besides, research has shown that among the top sources of stresses among high schoolers is academic stress and the fear of failure, because students feel that their grades are being pulled down because of those subjects where they are performing poorly.
But you know what? It is precisely failure at this level which will eventually make children understand that it is not the end of the world if they don't master everything. They need to know that they won't excel at everything, and that hard work amounts to something, regardless of whether they like the subject or not. And I strongly feel like this experience, in some cases, is what actually matters and helps children grow.
That's a very fair point. I absolutely agree with you. So, that's the end of the formal part of the debate. But regardless of our stance in the debate, Fatima and I personally believe that students must be given a choice to select their subjects after class 8.
Yes, actually. The thing is, in depth knowledge of all subjects offered at the secondary school level is not very crucial for every single student, you know. So it is not necessary to make all subjects compulsory for everyone.
Exactly. And so many subjects means there's lesser time to explore each of those subjects of interest in depth. And it's really important that this happens, that is in depth subject exploration, so that children can build a passion and interest for that subject if they're going to pursue it in the future. Let's say, for example, in different sciences, like physics or chemistry, if children are given an opportunity to spend more time in laboratories, performing experiments, etc., it's definitely going to make them fall more in love with the subject. And that way they'll also know for sure whether or not that is the subject or stream that they truly wish to pursue in the future. And the same goes for social sciences and languages as well. Class discussions, debates, etc., they not only enrich the learning experience by adding more to the textbook knowledge, but it also makes the class more engaging and makes the student fall more in love with the subject. So I think it's really important that this happens. But like I said, because there are so many subjects, there's lesser time given, there's lesser time devoted to each subject. So it just makes it extremely boring. And yeah.
Exactly. You know, we would be like neck deep into this heated discussion about a very hot topic, and we would we would be prepared with our arguments and debates, but then the bell would ring right
Oh
at that time,
yes.
and we have to switch classes and probably go into a class that we did not like. So, you know, it really does make sense that more time is needed, and because of which we need to cut down on the subjects that we don't really require. And you know, fewer subjects in turn would mean that lesser burden is imposed on the student, right? This will
Right.
lead to them having a more balanced life with their recreational activities and even their academics. And so eventually, they would be more passionate towards learning.
Definitely. I mean, the one thing I remember about school life is school and then tuitions. I mean, that's all there was to it because we had so many subjects, and because not everyone naturally excels at all of the subjects, they had to compulsorily take tuitions to, help them in that particular subject. And so that's like you rightly said, there is no time left for other things like recreational activities, etc. And that's really important to reduce academic stress, like I said. Also, our education system is based on the system of rote learning. So basically, students study for grades, not knowledge. And that's not really helpful, right? Because what is the point of learning when you're just going to forget everything right after the exam? I mean, they're studying just
Yeah,
for the marks, not to actually learn something from it.
yeah, that used to be me, especially like theoretical subjects. I'll
Yes.
just like mug up everything and then write it in the paper and be done and dusted with it.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people relate to that experience of just learning everything for the sake of examinations. They didn't really care about what they're learning, or because in the end they weren't even retaining it after the exams. I mean, in your words, just vomiting everything out in the 3 hour duration of the exam. So that really doesn't help because it's they're doing it because they have to do it, not because they want to. So that
Yes,
just sucks the fun out of learning, I feel.
exactly. And that's the sole reason we really believe in giving students choices. Along with that, ensuring that they also have the choice to switch subjects if they don't like studying that particular subject, or more of rigidity is prevalent in the current systems, but what we really require is more of freedom and more of choices for students to really pick and select what they actually want to do.
Yeah, exactly. We need more flexibility, and there's going to be a lot of trial and error if this does happen, someday, that students are given the choice to select their own subjects after 8th standard instead of after 10th standard. And like you rightly said, the current system, the current structure, the current syllabus is extremely rigid. There is no room for exploration. And I think it's crucial that students are given this chance and this opportunity, because at the school level, like you also rightly said, this is the place where they can make mistakes, where they can learn, and this is the place where they have maximum support, surrounded by teachers who are there to constantly guide them and all. But after 10th, you're like on your own, and you have to decide one stream. And in a lot of cases, sometimes because of peer pressure, sometimes because of parental pressure, or sometimes, just your own internal pressure of you feel like, I want to do this. But when you do that for 2 years, in 11th and 12th, you either realize it's just not for you, like you can't cope with it, or it's not where your interest lies. So why waste 2 important years when you can, kind of experiment with that during your school years? So yeah,
Exactly.
choice is really important here.
Exactly. We completely agree with the fact that choices really matter, and we support the fact that schools should encourage choosing subjects at a very young age, which is probably grade 8 onwards. And we'd like to end with a quote that we came across by Huffington Post columnist Blake Bowles that says, give high school students the same freedom as college students, and we'll take education a step in the right direction.
Wow, I think this perfectly sums up our views on this. I mean, of course, the first part of the episode was the formal debate where we highlighted the pros and cons. But like we said, what we believe is that giving students the liberty to choose would definitely help them in a lot of ways.
And with that, we have come to the end of our debate and even the episode for today. Thank you so much for listening to us. You can reach out to us on our Instagram at the rate two pupils in a pod. Signing off are your hosts Fatima
And Sakina.